The arrival of the offshore patrol vessel BRP Rajah Sulayman marks a symbolic shift in the Philippine Navy's modernization trajectory. It reflects not only a change in procurement tempo, but also the emergence of a new logic in Manila's approach to maritime security. For years, the Philippine Navy struggled with decades-old vessels, fragmented capability development, and a defensive posture shaped by limited resources. The transition from legacy platforms toward more coherent force planning now takes place under the third stage of the armed forces of the Philippines Modernization Plan, known as Horizon 3. This phase aspires to move the country from mere survival to a credible deterrence posture, but it confronts the realities of constrained budgets, intensifying pressure in the West Philippine Sea, and a global arms market that forces Manila to choose carefully where to invest political and financial capital. The strategic environment around the Philippines has deteriorated sharply, defined by maritime coercion, gray zone operations, and a pattern of intimidation targeting resupply missions and fishing grounds. In this context, the Philippine Navy's challenges are structural. Many of its surface combatants date back to the 1960s or 1970s, and the service relies on a small number of modern assets to shoulder disproportionate operational burdens. The two Jose Rizal-class frigates represent the only genuinely modern warships in the fleet, yet even they operate below optimum weapon loadouts due to phased acquisition. The absence of a layered air defense system, the lack of modern anti-submarine warfare capabilities, and insufficient long-range surveillance assets collectively limit Manila's ability to generate sustained maritime awareness. Horizon 3 attempts to address these gaps, but the scale of the challenge is far larger than available funding. Against this backdrop, the Philippines is steadily shaping a procurement pattern that leans heavily towards South Korea. The Rajah Sulayman offshore patrol vessel and the expected follow-on batch of similar platforms represent a shift toward ships that can be delivered quickly, maintained consistently, and deployed continuously in contested waters. South Korea has become a full-spectrum supplier for Manila, offering ships, radars, armored vehicles, artillery, and even potential submarine training packages. This ecosystem-style approach provides interoperability, predictable logistics, and political alignment. For a country with chronic acquisition fragmentation, the advantages of partnering with a single, stable supplier are difficult to ignore. It is increasingly likely that South Korean ship designs will form the structural backbone of the Philippine Navy for the coming decade. Yet the real test will be the procurement of a new class of frigates. The Jose Rizal class provided a solid foundation, but the next iteration must incorporate stronger air defense systems, more capable anti-submarine warfare sensors, longer-range anti-ship missiles, and a combat management system that can integrate seamlessly with allied data networks. Candidates may include improved variants of the Daegu class from South Korea, the German MEKO A200 design, Italian FREM derivatives, or even a more export-leaning Japanese platform. Each option reflects a different geopolitical alignment, industrial partnership model, and long-term cost structure. South Korean systems promise affordability and speed, while European designs bring advanced sensors and high-end combat capability. Horizon 3 forces the Philippines to confront a difficult choice: maximize cost effectiveness or pursue a more capable but more expensive solution. The outcome will define the Navy's surface warfare posture for decades. Offshore patrol vessels, however, remain the most politically urgent requirement. The priority stems from Manila's need to maintain a constant presence in contested waters and protect civilian fishing communities facing intimidation. Offshore patrol vessels are cheaper to operate than full-sized frigates, consume less fuel, require smaller crews, and can be deployed for long endurance patrols without overstretching budgets. The Rajah Sulayman represents the political model Manila wants: fast construction, low complication, and tangible results within a short administrative cycle. Plans for 5 or 6 additional offshore patrol vessels indicate that the Philippines sees maritime constabulary capability as the first line of national defense in the gray zone environment. This approach is not glamorous, but it aligns with operational realities and financial constraints. Nevertheless, the Philippine Navy cannot rely solely on numbers. The bigger question lies in how Manila standardizes its weapons and combat systems. Historically, the Navy suffered from a patchwork of equipment: European missiles on some ships, American sensors on others, South Korean fire control systems elsewhere. This created a logistical maze, complicated crew training, and limited joint operations. Horizon 3 emphasizes the need to streamline sensors, missiles, and networks. Potential anti-ship missile options include the South Korean Sea Star, the Norwegian Naval Strike Missile, the French Exocet, or the Israeli Gabriel. For air defense, the United Kingdom's Common Anti-Air Modular Missile, the United States' Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile, or a mid-tier Korean solution are under discussion. Choosing a unified architecture will be essential for future fleet coherence and for integration with the surveillance capabilities provided by partners such as the United States, Japan, and Australia. Another long-running ambition, acquiring submarines, remains contentious. While the Philippines has evaluated South Korean and French submarine proposals, acquiring and sustaining submarines is a generational undertaking. Budget limitations, training requirements, and the need for specialized supporting infrastructure cast doubt on whether submarines will materialize within Horizon 3. More realistically, submarines belong to a post-Horizon 3 timeline, unless Manila receives unprecedented financing assistance or commits to a multi-decade industrial partnership. Even then, maintaining a submarine fleet requires levels of discipline and spending that the Philippines has not historically demonstrated. The concept remains strategically appealing, but financially challenging. Infrastructure is another decisive element. A modern fleet cannot operate effectively without adequate bases, logistics hubs, and maintenance facilities. The expansion of naval facilities in Palawan, Subic, and northern Luzon, combined with enhanced defense cooperation sites under the Philippines-United States Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, creates opportunities for joint surveillance, repair capacity, and rapid forward deployment. Japan and Australia are contributing to maritime domain awareness and infrastructure upgrades, reflecting a growing network approach to regional defense. Without this foundation, even the best ships would be hampered by operational bottlenecks. Underpinning all these plans is the budgetary framework. Horizon 3 envisions the largest modernization funding envelope the Armed Forces of the Philippines has ever seen. But even its projected totals pale in comparison to the cost of a fully modern Navy. Economic headwinds, domestic political fluctuations, and competing social priorities mean that Manila must prioritize ruthlessly. Offshore patrol vessels, new frigates, surveillance systems, and air defense networks will likely absorb the bulk of resources. Many other programs may face delays, deferrals, or scale reductions. The success of Horizon 3 depends on a combination of political will, economic stability, and the country's capacity to manage long-term defense programs without interruption. Taken together, the Philippine Navy's modernization path is gradually forming a layered deterrence model. The outer layer relies on persistent presence through offshore patrol vessels. The mid-layer requires new frigates with modern sensors and credible missile capacity. The inner layer depends on expanded reconnaissance, data links, and coastal infrastructure. This multi-layered approach reflects a more realistic understanding of Philippine geography, financial constraints, and regional security dynamics. For the first time in decades, Manila is moving away from piecemeal acquisitions toward a system-oriented design. The BRP Rajah Sulayman, modest as it may seem, is a signpost of this transition, a Navy shifting from survival mode to the early stages of strategic coherence. The path remains long and uncertain, but Horizon 3 offers Manila a chance to define a maritime deterrent grounded not in ambition alone, but in practical steps aligned with the nation's evolving security needs.